In this video, I'll show you a MESSA team to beat this Titania. So the special effect, if you use HP or use a resonance that deal damage, you will get blood buff blessing, which increases your final damage by 40%. Which means that with MESSA, you actually have to use a Reaper skill, preferably skill 1, Reaper skill 1 to reduce his own HP to get the stack. Because the stack is permanent, and since the stack is permanent, you only need to use it one time. And Moko can also get this stack because of her resonance. Because the resonance does damage. For the gimmick itself, starting on the second turn, the boss will get 2 fairy power, and to remove them, you have to use a physical attack. If you do not remove them, you will do less damage for one turn based on the number of fairy stacks. So it's 15% per stack. What this means is that every turn you have to use 2 physical moves to remove the stacks. So here's the team. So the MESSA rotation is going to be a bit different from the guild boss one because of 2 things. Number 1 is the stage effect. Like I said, you actually have to use a Reaper skill 1 for one time to get the 40% final damage buff. And also, you can actually use a Reaper skill 2 on the very last turn because the boss actually doesn't act after your final action. Unlike the guild boss, right? Because the guild boss can take one more action. So the DOT, the bleed stacks matter. So you don't want to remove it. But for the SOS, you can remove it on the last turn. For Revelation card, we have Operation Wisdom, 5-star weapon, set screen. For our healer, it's gonna be Moko. Moko is good for MESSA because of Emerald Inclusive buff and attack buff. Can also debuff with skill 3, can also heal. And then because of resonance, she'll also get the 40% final damage buff from the blood buff blessing. Then the cards would be Departure Control because we need the defense debuff. Then 4-star weapon, set screen. Of course, your Code also. Code is gonna run the standard rotation. And give her Trust Power. Fast and Prosperity works also. And we have 5-star weapon. It's not needed to follow rotation, so don't worry about it. Set screen. Then Navigator is going to win because of the defense debuff. We need the defense debuff because unlike the guild boss stage, this stage doesn't have like an innate defense debuff because guild boss has like a 45% debuff, right? And when you debuff it or when you use an attack, you gain like 15 stacks or something, 3% debuff per stack. But for this stage, there's no innate debuff. So you definitely do less damage here. Then we have Labor Resolve for more debuff. The 4-star event weapon, set screen. For the dagger, it depends on if you need debuff or not. If your Moko is like A1 or has 5-star weapon because both of them can give defense debuff, right? Yeah, you can probably just use an Ex Machina. If not, use the eye weapon for extra debuff and physical damage up. Then Persona, first one is Shikokuten. You need Tarukaja. Rakunda also, you just need one Persona that has Rakunda. The funny thing is I actually have Rakunda on all of them because I was testing some stuff. But anyways, Chonobok, you need the String Nature skill. For Yanosik, you need Tarukaja. I just recently noticed, but you actually apply Mark every time you use a skill for the first time. I always thought that it has to be an attacking skill or like a skill on the opponent, but no. A Tarukaja also gives a mark if it's the first move you use for Yanosik for the battle, which we are gonna do that. So we actually do not want Rakunda on Yanosik. When I use Rakunda in the battle, do not use Yanosik's Rakunda because we're gonna save the mark for the last turn with Tarukaja. So turn order, Wanda has to be first because of the highlight rotation. Then yeah, it has to be this action actually. 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's begin. So first turn, we're gonna use Rakunda with Chonobok. Doesn't matter who as long as it's not Yanosik. Then we're gonna Moko skill 2 on MESSA. Then Code skill 2. Then we skill 1. Inflict the bleed. Make sure you have 5 also. Then we do skill 1, we win. Then we're gonna go Chonobok again. Do the signature skill to debuff. Delay the highlight a little bit. We'll get some buffs in first. Then we skill 3. So nice thing is that Moko herself also gets the buff blessing because she attacks with resonance, right? So that's nice. Then we're gonna MESSA highlight. It doesn't matter as much as MESSA because, you know, Moko doesn't do like crazy damage. But it's still a bit nice, you know, to get some damage up. And then the boss is also weak to Fairy. Weak to Psychic. Then we're gonna skill 1. And got the shot, nice. Then for MESSA, right, you actually want to go to Reaper mode and use the skill 1. The reason why you want to do this is to consume HP, to activate the stage effect, to get the blood buff blessing. So you can give it to MESSA. You can see that it's permanent, so you just need to use it one time just to get the 40% damage boost. We'll just do skill 1 here. Only skill 1, don't use skill 2. We don't want to remove all the stacks. Then win skill 3. Doesn't matter who you target here. Actually no, crap, I think I messed up. Okay, it's fine, it's fine. It's just something super minor. I shouldn't have targeted Messa because Jikakuten's passive will buff more if Messa has below 60% health. But it's fine. It's just a small buff, but yeah. Now we skill 2 with Moko. And we skill 3 with Core. Oh, okay, not bad. And just to double check, Messa, yes, he does have the blessing. The stack, so we skill 2. We just keep spamming skill 2 until the last turn. Then we skill 1. Okay, unfortunately, we have to use Channel Box Highlight. The main reason is to remove the stack, the fairy stack, because we still need to do 2 physical hits every turn. So we have to do this to debuff and also remove the stack. We Channel Box Arcunda. Moko can skill 3. Code skill 2. Then Messa can use skill 2 here. 36,000. Decent. Then we're gonna skill 1 here again. Because we skill 1 last time. We had to skill 1 last time because we cannot use skill 3. So yeah. We're gonna skill 1 again. We don't want to use skill 3 because we want to like sync both skill 1 skill 3 active on the last turn. But last turn is a big damage turn. Then we signature skill to debuff. Then we Moko skill 2. And skill 1, shock, no shock. Then Court Highlight. And then we skill 2. Okay, good damage. Then we win skill 3. So this action is going to be interesting. For Wonder, we're actually going to go to Yanosik and use Tarukaja. The reason why Yanosik is because Yanosik haven't acted yet, right? So the first time you use a skill, you will inflict mark on the opponent. So we buff Messa and then we also inflict the mark on the opponent. So we get the defense debuff. Then we can use skill 3, skill 3, Moko. Then skill 3 also here. Oh, 540k, good damage. You can do a Messa highlight for big damage. 400k also pretty good. And now for this turn, you can use Reaper skill 2. Because unlike the guild boss, In SOS, the boss doesn't take any last action, so the battle ends immediately after we use the skill 2 here. So it doesn't take any more DOT damage after this. 280k? Decent. I think that might be a new record. Oh, nice, it is. Very nice. So this is the team for free to play. You replace Moko with Soy. Soy is pretty good replacement. I think it's even better than my A1 Marion which I tested. It's very close though. And honestly, this team can do almost as good as the Moko team. Very close. It's only like a few 100,000 difference only. So for Soy, right, because he has so much debuff and because he has a physical move, the rotation for him is going to be different. Because a lot of time for Wonder uses Channel Block to hit with a physical move to remove the stack as well as to debuff. But Soy can do that now. So that means Wander's persona is going to be different. Rotation is going to be different. So Soy is going to use a lot of skill 2 and also gun to debuff. We're going to use skill 3 on the first turn just to give a bit of tank. Increase max HP for a little bit, and departure control of course to increase the debuff even more, and 5-star weapon for more debuff, that's great. And everything else is pretty much the same. The rotation also pretty much the same, so only except for Wonder. For Wonder you want to use Ex Machina instead because you don't need any more defense debuff, so we don't need the eye weapon anymore. Honestly, I'm not really sure if this eye weapon is better or not, because it's 14%, right? It's 14% here, and then Ex Machina is slightly lower, 13.8 or something. But anyways, as for the persona, we have Jigokuten here. Jigokuten has the same role using Tarokaja and also Rakunda. And then we have Dominion for cohesion. We use this on the turn we use Core skill 3 to maximize the damage. And then we have Yanose. Okay, this last slot doesn't really matter. You can put whoever you want because we have so much defense debuff already. The mark is kind of useless already, so it doesn't matter who you put here. So here's the rotation for Soy. Core and Mesa pretty much the same. Highlight rotation almost the same except for this one. This one we use Jigokuten highlight instead of the debuffing highlight because we don't have to break it anymore because your Soy skill 2 can break it. So it makes the rotation a bit more flexible with Wonder. So Wonder can focus more on buffing attack and defense debuff. And nice thing is that I only have to use skill 2 on the first turn to like increase the max HP to tank a bit more. And then you don't even have to use skill 2 anymore because the highlight from Core can heal, Wind skill 3 can also heal, so you should be able to sustain okay even with Soy. And then with this rotation and this team I got 6.7, which is pretty close to the one in the video with Sawamoko, like 300,000-400,000 difference, which is not that big actually. But still random rotation that I did. This was from a comment from someone who suggested using Reader, Skull and Mesa for double DPS. I tried that. It's not easy to use. It might work, but I don't think it's gonna be as good because using Skull, Mesa and Reader means that you have less defense debuff. And you also have no sustain, so it means that Wonder has to do two things, sustain and also defense debuff. I used Wind shoot once in turn 2, wasn't enough to sustain. Okay, everybody was able to tank actually. By the last turn, everybody's still alive but low HP. And that's bad because it means that I cannot actually use a Reaper skill 2. And on this turn, Riju cannot use a skill 3 because he has no HP to use the skill. Okay, maybe I should have changed maybe a healer instead here. But I don't think it's gonna do better than just even a Soy team with Mesa. And then also another thing is that Reader skill 3 wasn't able to reach 5 stacks. And this was A2 Reader also. So I think only like one turn to reach 5 stacks because Skull attacks only every other turn, which means that Reader doesn't get a stack from the attacking word. Then Wonder is gonna be debuffing and stuff, so he's not even gonna attack. So the only source of stack giving is from Mesa, which you can I guess, but you only hit twice I think with skill 2, so it's not enough to give 5 stacks. So I really don't think this team is gonna work. But it is interesting. And lastly, this is the rotation for this video.